Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the NFL Sunday Morning Show. I'm here with my guy James from the Steelers by the Lake podcast. I'm sure the other guys will pop in as the show goes on. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man. It's a new day, a new week, a new QB. Life is looking up for the Steelers and looking up for me, buddy.
Yeah. Like for me, yesterday was my grandmother's 90th birthday dinner, so we had that
Woo!
going. So
That's fun.
it can't like if you look at my grandmother, she looks like she's 50. She does
Woo!
not look like she's 90 at all. Like, wow.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's good news for you, man. The genetics are strong. You got a chance of making it long like her.
Well, not my hair though. I'm starting to lose it.
Hey, me either, buddy.
Yeah. Let's just get right into it. You already talked about a new QB. How do you feel about the contract he got? How do you feel about that?
I think
19.5 mil with 10 mil guaranteed.
I think the money is right for where he's at in his stage. You're not going to give a guy who seems to have his best football behind him 40 or 50 million.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think he really cared about the money all that much either. I
Huh?
think that this had everything to do with what we've been talking about on this show for 2-3 months now, is that, he didn't want to have to do any of these off-season workouts. It's at the stage now where we're moving forward to the mandatory part of workouts. And at least he's nice enough to come to those, So we'll take that as a win. But I think, honestly, they probably came to this agreement back in April sometime. And it was just the whole, hey, if we're going to get the best talent available in the draft, it'll benefit us as a team if you're not on the roster yet, because people are going to think that we're going to draft a quarterback in the draft and jockey appropriately to try to move in front of us or take quarterbacks that they think that we're going to take. So honestly, I think everything kind of came together smoothly, even though there was a crap load of drama between then and now. And we'll take it. It's been an issue for Pittsburgh the last 4 years or so with not using the middle of the field, and Aaron Rodgers is well known for not being afraid of using the middle of the field. So for once, they're going to actually have an offense that isn't just hash marks and out as far as where they throw the football,
Yeah.
which when you've got some weapons like Pat Fryermuth and Darnell Washington in the middle, that ought to work out real well for those two.
Yeah. So I got two things.
Yeah.
One, it benefits Will Howard tremendously now
Oh,
because
yeah.
now he gets to learn under Aaron Rodgers, arguably one of the greatest of all time.
Yep.
And then he's got a chance to either learn behind Mason Rudolph as well. So he's got two quarterbacks to learn under. And then Roman Wilson, he didn't play at all last year, and now he gets one of the best quarterbacks with the best QB with the completion percentage.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, Roman Wilson, look out. If you guys don't know Roman Wilson, this guy, I'm excited for him. I'm not saying that because I'm a Michigan fan. I'm just saying.
Former Michigan Wolverine, a third-round pick, not this most recent draft, but the one before. When you take a guy in the third round, typically the plan is for him to be a starter or a high-end backup. So I think that Pittsburgh had every intention of trying to work him into the starting lineup last year. Injuries, unfortunately, really derailed his season. He only got to play 5 offensive snaps before missing the rest of the year after overcoming one injury. So it's a huge year for him. And all reports, as it is for most people this time of year, are that he looks great in training camp so far. But I've seen some video and some footage of him. And man, is he quick in and out of his breaks. So I think that's something that Rodgers is going to absolutely love, especially with the guy that's got such a quick release. That's one of Rodgers' trademarks, is getting the ball out of his hands fast. So if you're a guy that can get separation and can get in and out of your breaks quickly, Rodgers is going to get that ball to you. So this could go from where he would 5 offensive snaps last year to getting 5 or 6 targets every game this year. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if he finds a way to work his way into the starting lineup, because really his biggest obstacle is Bobby Trees there, Robert Woods sitting in front of him. So if he can prove his offensive capability and his blocking capability, which from all I hear is all there, man, it could be a breakout year for Roman Wilson real easy.
Yeah. And DK Metcalf, I mean, he's probably one of the main reasons why Aaron Rodgers wanted to go there. I mean,
Mhm.
DK is one of the best wide receivers in the league, and I'm
Yep.
sure he had a lot of say, or he had some say on getting Aaron Rodgers here. So it's only a matter of time for that duo. Are you excited for
Yep.
that duo? I
Oh,
am.
absolutely, absolutely. Anytime you can get the biggest freak of nature at wide receiver, you have
Yeah.
to be excited about that, and especially with what Pittsburgh's been dealing with. It's just been a real issue the last probably 2 or 3 years with wide receivers taking plays off and not blocking. You're not going to have that issue with DK Metcalf, man. You're more likely to have him block somebody too hard and drive him into the opposing bench or into the bleachers than you are having to take a play off.
Yeah.
So I love the work ethic. I love that the dude looks like an edge rusher, but he plays wide receiver. I love that he's fast enough that he can run somebody down from 80 yards away and prevent a touchdown from happening. Like everything about DK, you're going to love that game. So it's very exciting as a Steelers fan to get that level of talent at wide receiver. And they only gave up a second round pick to give him. I remember us talking about it the week before it happened on the show. You
Yeah.
asked me, you said, him being available for only a second round pick. And I said, Pittsburgh should jump all over this. I'm grateful that they did. Obviously, Omar Khan listens to our show and watches. Otherwise, no way he does that on his own, right?
There's no way. There's no way. And what is up, our crew? Last night he saw Lilo and Stitch with his cousin brother. All right. How was it? I'm not going to go see that. I'm just saying that's not in my forte. But,
He's not on my list, man. Not on my
no.
list.
And then Vic here, Steelers fan. Good morning, everyone. Steelers will have 92 million in cap space in 2026. There in 2027, we will have 207 mil in cap space. That is, I didn't even know you were gonna have that much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you figure that next year TJ Watt will take up a little bit of that chunk with an extension going on. There's an expectation of an extension for Deshaun Elliott and Chris Boswell also, who, in my opinion, both have earned it. But to soak up that 207, we're going to need some guys like Broderick Jones to work out, Joey Porter Jr., Keanu Benton. These guys are all going to need to earn those big money contracts. And if they do, pay them. The room's there.
Yeah. Oh my god. In the first game, I'm more excited for your first game than anything.
Yep.
You.
Yeah.
Oh my.
The
You can't
NFL
make this
knew.
up.
The NFL knew there was a strong possibility of this happening. There's absolutely no doubt about it. With starting the season off with the New York Jets, and then I think week 2 is the Seahawks, so DK gets to play his former team. So it's just like right out of the gate, it's made for some storylines and some fun play.
Yep. What is up, Big C? How's it going, man?
What up? What up? What up? Was running a little bit behind. My fault.
Good to see you, Big C. How are you this morning?
All right, yourself?
Good, man. Good.
We were just talking about his new quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
I finally got a quarterback, brother. I finally got one.
I'm excited about.
It is.
Yeah.
It
How do
is.
you
I
feel
don't
about
expect
Rodgers
him
going to Steelers?
Listen, I think Rodgers got a bad rap last year. I think he performed better than what people would say he did. Pittsburgh is a defensive team. Usually they got DK. I think, I'm more worried about how Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin are gonna react if something bad happens. But I mean, he's an upgrade of what they've had over since Big Ben's been there, and does that make them the favorite in the division? Not necessarily, but I think it gives them an opportunity to make the playoffs. You know what I mean? And anything can happen when you make the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is an all-time great, so I mean, it's definitely an upgrade.
Definitely an upgrade. I'm more it's about the off-field stuff with me with Aaron Rodgers. I'm sure a lot of people feel like that, like his attitude and whatnot. That's for me. So it's finally Mitch can finally stop who's your quarterback stuff now. He ain't saving, but it's just at least 1 or 10 mil in the last 28 touchdowns. Wow, last year 28 touchdowns, almost 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, there you go, Blaze. I can finally stop saying that. I can finally stop. Now I can say how long will your quarterback? I mean, quarterback need a cane now? I don't think he's gonna be running the ball as much. So
No,
I
no,
still think Baltimore wins the division.
yeah, I agree completely. Baltimore should still win this division. Let's not pretend that a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers makes Pittsburgh the greatest team ever. It doesn't work that way. But I do think he's got enough left in the tank to make them a more competitive team than they were before, and maybe give them a chance to actually win a playoff game for the first time in like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, and the O line has improved and plays well with Rodgers will strive. If the line didn't get better, he might be in trouble. So the line, did it get better this offseason so far?
They didn't do anything to improve it, so it's all about the development of the young guys. You've got first-round picks at both offensive tackle positions. Broderick Jones is moving back to his natural left side, which he played in college, but the last 2 years he was right. The previous year's first-round pick, Troy Fautanu, will be the right tackle starting this year. He was probably going to beat out Broderick Jones last year, but got injured, I want to say the first or second game. He only got 50 offensive snaps before he missed the whole year. So that's the biggest question mark because the interior three, Zach Frazier, they seem to have hit a home run with him. Mason McCormick seems like he was a fourth-round steal. He was an adequate starter last year. And Isaac Seumalo, you're familiar with him. He's the consummate professional, a very good quality guard. He's not going to be confused with like a high-level dude, but he's also not a low-level guy. So your interior three is pretty solid. As long as those first-round picks play up to expectation, then you can have a really good offensive line. But there's definitely some question marks on what you're going to get out of those guys.
James, let me ask you about Daniels because you lost Daniels. He's a guard that we signed.
Yeah,
Achilles injury is. What type of player is he?
Very steady Eddie. He was thought of as the best offensive lineman on the team before that injury. And that was, a bunch of rookies and young dudes and then Seumalo. But he was putting better tape out there than Seumalo was. Honestly, the biggest reason they were moving on is because they didn't want to pay the big money that guards typically get in free agency. And then he had that, I think, wasn't it an Achilles tear last year? So they knew that he wasn't going to be able to make it back for that season. So I liked him. He was good. He was not a mauler in the run game. But a really good pass blocker with at least good capability in the run game. Just not going to open up huge holes, but he'll get his assignments.
When he went down with the injury, he was the number 1 ranked guard in all of football. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
we signed him at a pretty good deal. I think it was $8 million a year.
Yeah, it's a pay value.
But you talk about this playoff. Finally getting a playoff win. I don't think people understand what it takes to get a playoff win in the AFC.
Yeah.
And right now, if you think about it, and people can have their split opinions on Lamar Jackson, but you have Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson all in the AFC. And that's not even in sprinkling in Joe Burrow, you know what I mean? Yep. Who the Cincinnati Bengals are an offensive juggernaut. These are 3 of the top quarterbacks in NFL history. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're the top 3, but they're 3 of the best quarterbacks this league has ever seen. And the AFC is just not an easy place to win playoff games. And people give so much, so much shit to the Miami Dolphins for not being able to win in the playoffs. And they want to always compare Tua to these quarterbacks, but I constantly hear about how Tua is not as good as Josh Allen or not as good as Patrick Mahomes, not as good as Lamar Jackson. And I'm like, yeah, but you want them to do the same things these guys are doing. And it's just mind blowing to me. But the AFC is no joke. It's not easy to win playoff games in the AFC.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And I feel like the Dolphins and Steelers are in a real similar situation where you guys are going up against the Bills, and the Bills are the heavy favorite every year right now. The Steelers going up against the Ravens are the heavy favorite right now. And it's almost like if you don't beat them and take that division crown, you're going up against a really difficult team in the first round of the playoffs if you make one of those wild card spots. That's just a tough situation. That's my big focus right now for Pittsburgh is if you can't take the division crown, you better have the number 1 wild card spot so you can play whoever wins the AFC South because you don't want to face the Chiefs Bills or Ravens in the first round. Because, man, good luck. That's a really tough thing to try to beat any of those teams on their home turf in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, yeah, I mean, Tua's been to the playoffs 2 out of his 3 years that he's been a starter under Mike McDaniel, and we ran into the Buffalo Bills the first year on the road, and then the next year we ran into Kansas City when it was minus 10 degrees. The eventual Super Bowl champions, but so much hate on Tua because we couldn't beat nobody else, a team that nobody else could beat neither. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the here I'll read this comment, then I'll go what I say. Rodgers with a good line and with a strong running game could be dangerous. Could be. We'll see. Who's your starting running back again?
There'll be a combination of Jalen Warren and the rookie Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. So you'll probably get a heavy dose out of both of them. Probably a little more Jalen Warren early in the season. Then I think as the season goes along, Caleb Johnson's probably going to start getting more carries in him.
No Gainwell?
I mean, he'll get some third down snaps. He's a great receiving back, man. So they'll use him as long as he can protect against the pass rush.
Hey, he is a Super Bowl champion.
Dang right, man. You can't take it. So is Kenny.
yeah, Kenny. Is he actually going to start over there? I don't even think he's going to start.
I was listening to a show today that said he might not make the team. Like, if you think about it, Flacco is probably the favorite to be the starter right now. You're not going to cut a third-round draft pick in Dylan Gabriel, and there's no way in the world they're cutting Shedeur Sanders either. And there's probably also no way in the world they're keeping 4 quarterbacks because nobody does that. Shoot, half the teams in the league only keep 2 quarterbacks. So how can you justify keeping 4? That's the first time I heard that argument, and I thought, man, that actually makes a lot of sense. So, man, Kenny better play his butt off in the preseason. Otherwise, he might be the odd man out in that room.
Is Deshaun Watson out?
He's still on. He's going to still be on team 2, right?
Yep. I've heard he's ahead of schedule on his rehab process too. So
he's definitely not keeping 5.
Not a chance. No way. Can any of these guys play a second position? I don't think so.
So to be fair, Joe Flacco is probably going to be out too. You know what I mean? Yep. You're going to have Deshaun Watson, Gabriel, and Shedeur.
Yeah.
That is just crazy. Wow, what an offseason for the Browns.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to sneak these guys onto your practice squad. There's plenty of teams that don't have a good backup quarterback that would probably snag one of them.
Yeah. Good morning, guys. I see you guys in the chat. JD the Great One, phenomenal pod. Really appreciate you guys being here, man. And Blaze comes in again and goes, Caleb Williams, watch out for him. Warren, early, I agree. And Mitch, your boy Gainwell, third down back is a Super Bowl champ, but now on a team with the flip-over flange in Philly. All right. Me and him go back and forth and saying who has the better fan base. Eagles or the Steelers. We always go back and forth. What, the legendary room?
Oh, God.
You know what the Browns should do? They should really go in a locker room and have legendary everywhere. Can you imagine that? Yeah. Rodgers still smoking somewhere. Steelers the latest to fall in the trap. Oh, it's not going to be a trap, I feel like. I feel like you guys are just going to be right where you are, like around 9-8 wins. Is that where you see your Steelers going? 8-9, 9-8?
I don't have any pretend notions that this is going to push them into a 12 or 13 win team, but I think they could pull off 10 or 11, which is right about where they normally are. So if you want to win the division, you better win 12 or 13. But I don't know that he's got enough left in the tank to really take them that far beyond what they were before.
Yeah, Rodgers could be better in Pittsburgh than in New York. You never know. He's got a great wide receiver, good O-line. Roman Wilson, a rookie. Is this his rookie year now? It's got to be, right? Yeah.
I mean, for Roman, it's kind of a rookie year because he didn't get to play last year, but technically it's sophomore year.
But is his receiving core better this year than it was last year?
Probably not, right?
But I think Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson's a better wide receiver than DK Metcalf, to be honest. DK is more physically gifted, obviously, but Garrett Wilson's an up and coming wide receiver, and he's an animal. Plus, they had Devontae Adams. I don't know if Pittsburgh's receiving room's better than the Jets.
Yeah,
is Pittsburgh's defense better than the Jets' defense? And to be fair, I mean, Brees Hall had a down year last year for the Jets, but is their running game even better?
I think the advantage for them will be probably the O-line and maybe the tight end room. So we'll see how much he leans on that. You know, he's known for getting the ball out quick anyway, so you just really got to give him 3 seconds and that ball should be out. But I agree with you. DK is just a different guy from what you've got there with the Jets star receiver. He's a better route runner, I think, the Jets guy than DK is.
What, Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, is DK better than Pickens? That's the question here. Is DK going to be better than Pickens?
I mean, Pickens didn't show me much last year. I think there was one game where he had 5 or 6 drops and had no receptions. I can't remember what game it was, but I just every time they went to him, drop. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, that was his worst game of the season, and it was near the end of the season too. I forget if it was the last game or second to last game. He was pretty reliable previous to that. It's just different types of receivers, right? Like both of them are deep ball guys, but DK wins with getting separation, body positioning, kind of like he's like the power forward in the low post who knows how to keep the guy on his back shoulder and catch it out in front, as to where George just out jumped everybody. So they're different, even though they're similar. And I think both of them are that guy that gets you 60 to 70 catches and a bunch of yards and some touchdowns. But I like the consistency out of DK. That's the thing, is that George was not consistent enough, and especially when the ball wasn't coming to him. You could tell for sure there was going to be a couple times a game where there was going to be a run play that would go his direction or wasn't supposed to, but ended up, and you weren't going to see the effort there. And as a professional athlete, man, you need to, if you can't give effort on a play, then you need to pull yourself out for that play until you're rested up enough to do so. But you need to be efforting, because otherwise there's a free defender and your teammates are just going to get cracked by the guy you're supposed to be blocking.
I mean, Pickens was definitely too much of a prima donna that hadn't proven enough in the league to justify it. You know, lots of times teams will put up with the prima donna act from the wide receiver position, but typically these wide receivers have earned it. Terrell Owens, all pro. Chad Ochocinco, all pro. Antonio Brown, all pro. What has George Pickens proven that he gets to act like that?
Yeah, not enough. I agree with you.
Actually, before I address the comments, did you guys ever see DK Metcalf do this? I forget what year it was. Maybe it was last year or 2 years ago. Just watch this. Watch this catch here. People are saying this is fake. Look how high DK Metcalf gets.
I believe that to be fake.
I mean, the dude's a freak athlete, but that's something else right there. That's like 12, 13 feet in the air.
Hold on. Let's see if he really bends his leg. Yeah, I don't think he got enough bend on the knees to go that high.
I don't know. It's like I posted.
I mean, he slightly bent the knees, but I don't know if he bent the knees enough come on.
I agree.
Look at this comment. This dude is on a wire.
He should be playing. He should play center field for the Yankees or something. He's doing that. You know what I mean? Like, you robbing everything.
Yeah.
My bad. But yeah, this comment right here from a Dolphins fan, actually. I'm sorry that's edited, but there's an unedited version. I don't know if that's edited or not, but that is just crazy. But yeah, his athleticism is crazy. I wish like, how old is DK again?
I want to say he's like 27 or 28.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, because they gave him a 5-year deal. That
was same age as your boy Brown.
He's 27.
Him and Brown came out the same year, right?
Even Blaze says it's fake.
I don't think it's fake at all. It is indeed fake. Guys, let me know, is it fake or not? It's edited. Stop believing you see on the internet, Mitch. Hey, I posted on my channel like a year or two ago. Hey, got me 11,000 views on that thing.
Look like you could snatch the moon.
Right? It reminds me of those old commercials they used to do where the dude would like punch his hand through the drywall and catch it on the other side and stuff. They used to have some real off the wall stuff they did with those.
Yeah, he could definitely get that. What was he? Only on Seattle, right? It
Yeah.
was Seattle. That's it? Wow.
Yep.
Okay. I thought he was on another team at first, but yeah, it's edited. I don't believe it's edited. I feel like he's really that athletic. Something we got to talk about in the future, but yeah, this is crazy. Like, now, did you guys extend TJ Watt? Is that like official? You guys extended him, or what's going on with
It
that?
hasn't happened yet. It's rumored to be an offer is on the table that hasn't been signed yet. Now, I don't know if because it hasn't been signed, that means that TJ doesn't think the number's high enough. I haven't heard anything on any details of what they've offered him, but it's definitely a priority. And it could be as simple as they just wanted to see how much money was left over after the Rodgers deal was done. Because if it were me, I would front load the crap out of it while you've got this extra salary cap space. You got to burn that space anyway. Otherwise, you get penalties for not spending enough of it. So why not front load it and then leave yourself some room for future signings in the next couple of years here?
Yeah, that's your number one priority. I'm just like, it hasn't happened yet. I thought that would have been done like a while ago. Like, okay,
it would have been smart.
Together.
Yeah, it would have been smart to get it done before the Myles Garrett deal, because you probably could have got him for 36 or 37 then. Now he's going to want more than Myles, because that's just the way these guys do it. They all think they're better than each other. They all want more than the last guy. So whether anybody else thinks that way or not, it doesn't matter if that's all he thinks.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. But was he at OTAs? TJ Watt was there, right? He didn't skip it or anything. He's not holding out.
He's not holding out, but he wasn't at OTAs because they're voluntary. DK Metcalf wasn't there either. I don't really read anything into that. I mean, there's some teams have like 10, 15 guys didn't come to OTAs, so I'm not super worried about it.
Add more money at $30 million to TJ. Oh my God. You guys are just throwing the boatloads. Like, stay.
Yeah, back up the truck, man. You can't afford to lose them.
Yeah. Mitch, but I thought TJ Watt was going to the Eagles. So there's one guy on our show. What was it? Not yesterday, but a week ago. He said that TJ Watt was coming here. I have the clip actually, and I'm just like, it got me 32,000 views on TikTok. So, I'm like, hold on, I gotta find this.
People love the hot takes, man.
Well, that for all my Dolphin fans out there, I'll show you something that's not edited.
It's not edited. I got it. Give me 1 sec. Yeah, I got it. Let me share the screen here. Here we go. Let me go to this tab. Can you guys see it? There we go. Okay.
I can see it. I'm not getting any audio though. I don't know if you.
Oh, you're not getting audio?
No.
Okay. Here, hold on. Let me fix that. Let me try this. It's weird. Let me fix that real quick. Source network. Come on, man. Really? Is that good? Technology. Sometimes it wants to work and sometimes it doesn't. There we go. Okay, this should work now. That should work. Oh, oops. Not sharing that. There we go. Gotcha. Here we go. Now we got it.
First. But Mr. Watt is going to be an Eagle.
Ooh.
Okay, and it's going to be
Bill?
because of this. Mr. Watt from Pittsburgh, DJ.
He's
DJ
coming
Watt.
here.
He's going to come here.
Wow.
He's going to come here.
Okay,
They're
what am
gonna-
I giving up for him?
It don't matter. They got 1 million draft picks next year. They don't need the draft picks. They don't need them. They'll give up. They have 2 seconds and I think 3/3 next year.
Well, they have 14 total picks after yesterday.
Right. Well, guess what? They just loaded the guns to walk up to Pittsburgh and go, "You want to rebuild your team? I got plenty of picks. Give us Mr. Watt. Mr. Watt. Hey, you know what? We have 15 extra $1 million in our kitty. Do you want to play in Philadelphia? Hell yeah, I want to play for the Super Bowl champions. That's going to happen."
We say some crazy stuff on our shows.
Man, does he really think that he's only under contract for $15 million?
Right. Big C, looks like you got this up here.
Yeah. Can I make that bigger?
You gotta hit that. There you go. So what is this?
This is the man. This is the man, Dan Marino, from about 40 yards out. Let me see.
Yeah, just hit the play. Should be good.
That's unedited, folks. That's unedited.
I believe that. That man had an absolute cannon attached to his shoulder.
I was just watching
Yeah.
today talk about his favorite player of all time and how Dan Marino is the greatest pure passer of the football of all time, and was his favorite player.
Oh wow.
But I had to shout out my boy Dan. You know,
I'll never forget, man, that arm motion. It was like, a lot of guys have that super long motion. He was just like boom and out. It was so compact and such a strong arm too. Dan was incredible to watch growing up.
absolutely. All-time favorite athlete in any sport.
Yeah. I needed that laugh today. Keep your 15 extra mil. Hey, a boy can dream. A guy can dream, Danny. Imagine Watt next to Carter. That'd be crazy. Yeah, Howie Long said Dan Marino is the GOAT. FYI, Raiders.
How would the Eagles even begin to think that they could pay everybody? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That's how we rose it for you.
and then you end up losing. You'd have to end up losing a lot of your young talent when they come on for contracts.
Yeah.
There's no way you can pay Hurts, Brown, Saquon, all your defensive play. It just doesn't. I don't know how you can do it.
Well, Hurts does have a team-friendly deal. So it's just like a lot of these
It's
guys.
not that team friendly.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He took a lot of these guys took pay cuts. A lot of them in like the
Yeah, but
defensive
JJ's gotta have to want over $30 million a year.
Yeah.
What did Myles Garrett get? 40?
He got 40. Yeah. TJ's going to want at least 40.
TJ's gonna have to believe he want
Yeah.
that equal at least.
He's making 27 now. He's certainly not going to take a penny less than that. And he'll, at the very minimum, want more than the 35, 36 million, which is where the guys are below Miles. But I don't see him taking anything less than what Miles got.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, if DK Metcalf can really jump like that, we better see that like 10 times this year in real games. Now you see that was like, what was that, a couple years ago? I gotta look over when that was, but that's funny.
If he could jump like that, that should be your red zone play, every down.
Right.
That should be your play every time. Like he can't. Nobody can jump that high. Nobody can compete with that.
I'll tell you, that's been the frustration in Pittsburgh with the lack of usage of Darnell Washington. There's a clip of him from his NFL Combine workout where he was running around on the sideline, and he told the QB to just sky it, and he went up one-handed and hit it at the peak of where it was, and my God, it had to have been 12, 13 feet in the air. He's 6'7" plus and had like I want to say it was like a 38-inch vert or something. So the dude can get up there, and they just don't throw jump balls to him.
Now let me ask you guys this real quick. Like, say
Yeah.
TJ Watt, obviously he's a great player.
Mm-hmm.
Myles Garrett, obviously he's a great player. Would you rather have a TJ Watt, a Myles Garrett, or 3 super really good $15 million a year players, or one player that's making 40?
For me, it's all about, because I say this in basketball, that super teams are pretty much done. So for me, I'm like, give me good, well-rounded players to fill out the roster. So I would go that way, not like 40 mil. I'm all about being under the cap and all that stuff. That's me.
For me, it depends on the impact of the guy.
Yeah.
So if those 3 guys that I can get in exchange for it are not going to be getting burned on defense, or if they're a wide receiver and they can still get me 7 or 8 touchdown catches, then I might go that route. But I've seen what, at least for Pittsburgh, for TJ as the example, when he's not on the field, they hardly ever win. Like, everything about that team changes when he's not on the field.
But when he's not on the field, his salary still is.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's not like when he's not on the field, you're getting 2 $15 million players to fill in for him. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to gauge that. Listen, he's a great player, obviously. I just think when you start paying your quarterback $50 million a year, defensive end $40 million a year, a top flight wide receiver $30 million, you're gonna have massive holes on the team. I just think that you're probably better suited to fill those spots with multiple fringe Pro Bowl players than because $50 million a year, I mean, they should be on the verge of making a Pro Bowl. They're on that line between elite and in between average and elite. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it depends on your position.
I'm comfortable with as quarterback, and that's if and it's not the market is the market. It's that Lamar Jackson type. It's the Patrick Mahomes type, Josh Allen type. They're the only ones that I'm willing to, because they're such difference makers. They have the ball in their hands so much that they impact the game more so than one defensive player.
I'm with you on that with quarterbacks. If you don't have one of those elite premier guys, then get yourself a guy like Baker Mayfield for $33 million a year, where you can still field a good team around him, and you're still getting good quarterback play from him.
Yeah.
So you don't want a legendary quarterback?
If he's actually legendary, sure. But
I mean, Shedeur
such a
Sanders
small number of guys.
was a steal. He was a steal in the 3rd round.
Yeah, I know.
For where he was supposed to go to where he ended up, like, if he was supposed to be a 1st round draft pick, whether he ever ends up being that, who knows? We'll find out. But as of right now, he was supposed to go in the first 3 picks, and for him not to go in till the 5th round was absolutely retarded.
It was like, I still am like, why is he on the board? It's just like hilarious. And then primetime, I'm like, here we go. It's LeVar Ball all over again. It's the fathers and their kids every time. I'd love to get some moderately good players that are there to win bowl. Excuse me. My whole sell would be to get the already millionaires, take smaller contracts to win Super Bowls. That's exactly what the Eagles did.
Mm-hmm.
We 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years. So you got to, like, there were some players that the Eagles lost this offseason that wanted to get the bag instead of like being there to win. And I'm not mad at that. Like, go get your money. You deserve it. Go do everything. Feed your families. But I'm like, if this is a team sport and you want to win more, my feeling is you would take less money. So it depends on if you want to win or if
I think you'd be surprised at how many of these players are not really football fans. You know what I mean? Like, they obviously enjoy playing football. They're good at playing football. But there's so many players that I've seen come out of college football that don't know who's in the AFC and don't know who's in the NFC or don't know who's in whose division. Like, and it blows my mind when, like, you don't know who's in the AFC, you don't know who's in your division coming out of college. Like, that is mind blowing to me. That I feel like that's a pretty average fan thing to know. You know what I mean? You don't got to know who was drafted in the first round by this team in 1972 to be a football fan, but to know what divisions there are, to know if you can play a team in the Super Bowl if you're on the Bears, you know what I mean? Like, or who's in your division if you're on the Bears, that's mind blowing to me. So don't be surprised when a lot of these players are picking money over Super Bowls.
Yeah. And it could be as simple as, like, they already got their ring, so now it's time to chase the money. You know, it's rare to get an opportunity to get a ring. If you get it earlier in your career and you can go chase a payday afterward, it's tough to blame them for it.
I can't be mad. I really, really can't be mad. I want them the best, but what was it? Mil Williams, like, he took the money, but he went to the Patriots. I'm like,
he's not
if
worried
I
about
were him, huh?
He's not worried about winning.
No, he is not. Like, for me, I'm like, could he have found a better team to get money? It's just like, dang, there that goes.
New England had a crap load of cap space, though, and Milton Williams had a great year, but I don't know how many teams were going to throw $30 million at him like they did. Wasn't it like?
I mean, they got Mike Vrabel, though. They got a young quarterback, so I mean, the nucleus is good over in New England. I mean, were they bad? Yeah, but do they have potential to be good? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So it's not like he went to Cleveland. You know what I mean? It's not like if you're really, you know, someone's really money chasing if they're going down to Cleveland. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're paper chasing if you're going to Cleveland or one of the bad franchises around this league.
Yeah.
Hold on, we got this one. If the Steelers still had George Pickens, and Steelers will be Super Bowl contenders. I guess. I don't know what to say to that. James?
I mean, it's a better starting situation. I don't know if that makes them Super Bowl contenders, though. There's still some other holes on the roster. So I think that's why they traded him away, is because they felt that they were more than just George Pickens away from being contenders. So I think the move was to try to solidify future years draft picks and try to build that team in the next 2-3 years.
So why bring in Rodgers if you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you bring in Rodgers if you feel like you're close.
Yeah, and I think that they never will officially throw in the towel on a season, and that's part of the issue. But also the last couple of years, they've been trying to get dudes on one-year contracts. So if Rodgers isn't ready to retire after this year, but you move on from him, now he can help you out in the compensatory formula. Kind of like Darius Slay. They got him on a one-year deal too. If he still has something left in the tank after this year and somebody pays him, it gets you more compensatory picks. So I think they're trying to finally, and they've not done this in the past, but I think they're finally starting to play the compensatory game to try to get these extra picks so that they can build the roster in a way they've not been able to yet. You can't change how often you're going to hit in picks. You're still going to have some misses in picks. So get more darts to throw at the board, and then you got a better chance of having more guys you actually hit in.
Yeah. So what is the end goal here from Mr. Magic for the Steelers this year? A Super Bowl?
I think if they're being realistic with themselves, then a Super Bowl is not likely to happen this year. But you need to set your goal on getting to the playoffs and winning a playoff game and changing that mentality, because it's starting to get to be something that really annoys the crap out of most Steeler fans, that they're expecting before the season even starts to win 9 or 10 games, get to the playoffs, lose in the first round, and be pissed about everything. So you need to give your fans some hope and some reason to think we've got a nucleus good enough that if we can get a guy a step better than what Rodgers is now, you can make a splash in the playoffs instead of just maybe winning one game.
Yeah. The goal of the Steelers is a playoff win, Mike Tomlin wants to save his 500 season. I mean, yeah.
I mean, he doesn't want to go out there and lose a bunch of games. Nobody does.
No. It is just crazy how Steelers fans want him gone after the consistency that Tomlin has.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm like consistency always good. I mean, yeah, James.
Well, people always think that they want what the unknown until they get the unknown.
Yeah.
Like so many people call for Tua Tagovailoa, and I agree. We need to keep looking for our next future starting quarterback because Tua can't stay healthy. But people act like his play's so bad on the field. I'm like, do you not remember the quarterbacks we've had here since Dan Marino retired? Do you not remember the seasons that we've gone through? Like we've been a playoff contender each of the last 4 seasons, and you want to throw Tua away? You want to go back to the Ray Lucases, the Gus Frerots, the Joey Harringtons, you know what I mean? The Jay Fiedlers. You want to go back to that? It's just mind blowing to me. So, you know, you want Mike Tomlin to move on until Mike Tomlin moves on, and you're stuck with a coach that you have to fire in 2 seasons.
Yeah, that's it. I couldn't agree with you more. I feel like it's tough in this league to win 8 or 9 games every year. And what he's done with the roster the last few years to somehow still pull that off with Mitch Trubisky starting at quarterback and Duck Hodges starting half a season, and some of the stuff with Ben Roethlisberger with elbow ligaments just hanging on by a thread, and some of this stuff that he's scraped together somehow to still win 8 or 9 games in a season is honestly probably more of an accomplishment than he gets credit for.
Well, it's not just that. You want Pittsburgh to be challenging for Super Bowl titles, but look at what they got to go through to do that. You got Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow in your division, and then when you get to the playoffs, because Mike Tomlin typically gets you to the playoffs, and then you gotta figure out some kind of combination that you got to win on the road, either at Lamar Jackson then Patrick Mahomes, or Josh Allen then Lamar Jackson, or Lamar Jackson then Josh Allen, or Patrick Mahomes then Josh Allen. You got to beat 2 of those guys on the road, some kind of combination, and that's after playing your first playoff game on the road too.
Yeah.
So you got to win 3 playoff games on the road, and 2 of them got to come against 2 of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, and then the 15 years previous, 15 years previous, you had to get through Brady, and nobody was getting through him.
Yeah, and Brady and Peyton, you know what I mean? Yeah. Let's not forget Peyton over there too.
Yeah,
Phillip Rivers was a great quarterback. I mean, he's not as great as, you know what I mean? But even them, San Diego was in the playoffs, and they was losing to the Colts or the Patriots. So I mean, who's to say Phillip Rivers won a Super Bowl if it wasn't for the 2 of those other quarterbacks?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's not as easy as people like to portray it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing in this league comes easy at all. Nothing. Nope. Not at all. And actually, I don't know if everyone pretty much knows this, but the Madden cover has been released. I don't know how you guys feel about this one. You guys already know my take on this. I'm not even gonna say my take. I feel bad for the Jaguars. There's no Jaguars logo on the helmet there. You guys notice? It's not even there. So how do you guys feel about this? And no, I don't believe in the man curse. I don't.
You should.
It's a real thing, Mitch, whether you like it or not.
It's been broken. It has been broken a couple times.
2 times in the last 30 years.
It was like 2. What was it? Brady was one of them. Mahomes was one of them. I know there's other ones. I'm going to blank.
It's
still that's 2 out of 30. You know what I mean? Like,
but hey, I just look at this. The hurdle. You guys want to hear something? Saquon's the highest Eagles offensive player in history to get a 99, or the only 99 overall in Eagles offense.
I mean, it should be.
Should be. Yeah, who would it have been otherwise?
No one. That's exactly the point. Yeah, so it's the Madden curse love to affect running backs who grace it. Like for me, it's just like we got AJ Dillon, right? We got a good offensive line. We got a good offense around Saquon Barkley. He doesn't even have to be used like he was last year. I don't see him getting 2,000 yards again. I don't see it. AJ Dillon's going to get the ball in the red zone. You still got Will Shipley. Jalen Hurts can run. So if Nick Sirianni can protect him and use him wisely, like take him out and whatever, I'm sure he'll be fine. I like it. I know I'm feeling biased here. I'm biased.
I think Philly should go back to them Kelly Green uniforms full time.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Like, here's the thing with the Kelly Greens. We have them for, 4 games this year? So it's just like I'm trying to figure out when we were going to have them on. Like 2 away, 2 home. I want it for the opener against Dallas when the banner raises on my birthday. That would be my dream. So I'm like, oh, my birthday. Yeah. Eagles running game, just more pushes. There you go. So you've been saving that for the whole time for this. There you go. There you go. Yeah, the Kelly Greens. What are your jerseys like Big C? Like the Kelly Greens? You have nice ones, right? I've seen yours.
Yeah, we definitely want our throwbacks to come out. Right now it looks like a SeaWorld logo more than anything. We'd like our Dolphins uniforms to go back to the throwbacks. And we get to have them a bunch of games this year. Plus we get a special thing that's starting with our division this year, that one time a year we get to wear a custom jersey that is based upon the city that you're coming from. So Miami will be wearing a custom jersey sometime this year. I'm guessing it's going to be base Miami Vice type thing like they've done for the Heat, and what's the other the Marlins have done it too. The pink, the bluish color, and the black, something along those lines, but we'll see.
Yeah,
but every division is going to end up doing that though.
Yeah, you guys always had nice jerseys. Miami was known for their jerseys. Like, I love it. James, what about you? You looking for your throwback jerseys this year?
Oh, it's gonna be boring as hell. That's what Pittsburgh usually does with it, unfortunately. I think they said it's like a 1960s version, which some of those were just like awful khaki colored pants and tiny little numbers that you can't even tell who the hell it is on the field. I did hear that they're going to do an alternate helmet, a gold helmet. So we'll see if it's yellow or actually gold. That's probably going to be more exciting than the alternate jerseys. Unfortunately, Pittsburgh just hasn't really nailed that yet.
See, this is the SeaWorld logo right behind me, the big SeaWorld logo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Damn.
Oh, so put some teeth on that dolphin?
Yeah, it almost looks like a whale.
Guys, that's going to conclude the Sunday morning show. Big C, what you got going on, man?
Just hitting up the show, my weekly show Monday through Friday. I've been doing some open fan panels, which have been fun, giving people a opportunity to talk. I've been watching a lot of other podcasts that in the Miami Dolphins community that drive me absolutely freaking insane. I don't know if that happens with you guys too, where people just come off very uneducated.
Yeah,
and it drives me nuts. But yeah, I just do my show Monday through Friday. Should have some guests on this week. I kind of slacked on getting in contact with them, so we'll see. But yeah, Monday through Friday, Finn Posse podcast.
Yeah, you know what you should do? You should react to their videos on your live show. Like I do that all the time for the Sixers, and like I tear them apart how bad they are. Like you should do that. That would be fun. That would be great. James, what about you? You have a video coming out today, right?
Yeah. We actually recorded one early this morning. A couple of our part-time guests are going to be taking on a larger role and coming on more regularly.
Oh, okay.
This morning I did a show with Nick and Jill, and Nick gave us his 53-man roster prediction. So hopefully that'll be posted later on today.
Yeah, Cody's gonna do it on time today.
We'll see.
And yes, guys, you guys should check out the Hardcore Sports Network. We got a lot of good stuff coming, especially our wrestling. We did Money in the Bank last night, uploaded a YouTube short. But yeah, guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. I won't be here next week. AK will take my spot. So you guys will be in good hands next week. Hit the like button, y'all. Appreciate ya. And peace. Everyone have a good rest of your Sunday.